Hello, my name is Mathieu. I'm an IT consultant. I work at Zenika in France. Today I will talk about Arthas, Alibaba's Java diagnostic tool. Who knows Arthas? So everybody is in the right room. Who knows Alibaba? Okay, when I heard that Alibaba open sourced one of its tools, I wonder what this tool is, because I never heard before something that Alibaba open sourced, and I was not aware of how Alibaba runs its application. And then I look at it. So first, Alibaba, okay, as usual, just... Yeah, so first, Alibaba, it's a Chinese retail multinational conglomerate. The name is inspired by 1001 Night Tales, okay? Alibaba is one of the top biggest companies. It was founded in 1999 by Jack Ma. It's e-commerce, retail, B2B, B2C, C2C, cloud, artificial intelligence. It's very a big company. It has a turnover of $350 billion. With an increase of 50%. By comparison, Amazon, it's only a turnover of 230 billions, with an increase on only 31%. So Alibaba is bigger than Amazon, but we heard less often about Alibaba and how it runs its application. What's very typical with Alibaba and a lot of Asian companies, it's a single day. The single day, it's a celebration of the single, the 11/11. It's the biggest online sale event. It has on one day 30 billion turnover. There is up to 150K orders per second. It's more orders than the Black Friday, Thanksgiving, and Cyber Monday. So when we saw all these numbers, we can ask ourselves, how do they do? How do they do to have an IT infrastructure that can run this kind of workload? I will show you some information about how Alibaba ran its application. This is information from 2 years old, so maybe it has evolved, but there is still some information that was relevant. Alibaba has its own Linux and their own JVM, and they have a middleware that was used by all the websites. They have their own multi-tenant Tomcat. So today everybody goes to containers. So everybody deploys containers in production. 2 years ago, Alibaba don't use containers, but just use old Tomcats with multiple applications deploying on it. I don't know if they evolved, if they changed it, but this is the way they run their workload. And keep in mind, they are bigger than Amazon. Alibaba and Java, it's a long story, in fact. They are OpenJDK contributors. They have multiple OSS projects, and they are their own JVM, AliJDK. There is two features that is interesting in this JVM. It's JWarmup. It's features that can record application profiling information, for example, in a test environment, then precompile via the JIT the application in production with this data. So it's I don't know if you know that Java has APP CDS. So it's a bit like this, but I think it's older. They have also Wisp. This is a coroutine implementation inside the JVM. This is based on the DaVinci Machine project. So they have their own JDK, and they have some tools that they use in production. And I will talk about Arthas. So Arthas, it's a tool to monitor and debug an application in production. So yes, debugging in production. This is a tool that is CLI, or you can use it in a browser via WebSocket. And it works on OpenJDK. and it works also on Alibaba JDK, obviously. So when we talk about diagnostic tools, this is all the features that I want these tools to have. I want to be able to see system metrics. I want to be able to see the behavior of the JVM, to be able to analyze the memory, analyze the threads, the consumption of my CPU, to find which code uses the more resources. Why not to update the code when running? I want to be able to analyze the behavior of the application, and more importantly, to find how my application is used, because my application, when I deploy it, I don't know how it is used by a client application, for example. Okay, so let's have a look. So I will just first use a small demo that comes with Arthas, and it's just compute prime factors each 1 second, and you see it generates some exceptions sometimes. Then I will use Arthas Cloud. Everybody see? Maybe a little more. It's okay? Yes. I will use the CLI. So when I launch the CLI, it will list all the JVM that's running in my laptop, and it will ask on which JVM I want to connect. So I will connect on the Arthas demo JVM. Okay, it attaches to the process. Then I'm inside Arthas. First, I will open the dashboard. The dashboard gives a global view of my application and how it's running, and I can see all the threads and the CPU consumed by my threads. So it's very interesting to know which threads consume the most CPU. In this time, it's Arthas. Okay, cool. I see all my memory, some memory usage and garbage collecting statistics also, and I see some system information. So I'm running Linux and Java 11. Okay, so this is good to have a global overview. What I want is to know what's going on. A good way to know it is to check the thread. And for example, I see here that I have a main thread. I assume this is the thread of my application, so I will ask Arthas via the thread command what is going on this thread. So it's sleeping, yes, because the application sleeps 1 second between two prime factor computation. So it's sleeping, okay. But I don't remember exactly what's in my maths game application. So Arthas comes with Java, the compiler, to be able to see the bytecode, the Java code. So I will ask it to decompile my code. And I can see that I have a method called print. Okay, this is not very interesting. Called prime factor. Yeah, this seems to be the method that calculates the prime factor. So I will ask Arthas to monitor it. There is multiple monitoring tools. First, I will use Watch. Watch can see all the invocation of a method. So I will watch demo.mathGame. Okay, so I have auto-completion on Java classes. This is cool. And I will ask the watch command to see for the prime factor method all the parameters. Okay. So I see all the parameters that are used to call my method. I can also ask all the return object of my method. So I see that this is a prime factor of my that's resulting, and sometimes it results null because it didn't find any prime factors. But what is very interesting also is to be able to to see all the throws, all the exception that my method throws. So I can just use the command throw exp. Okay. So this is quite interesting. Now I will switch to a more complex application. I will launch my my usual application. I call it bad app. Okay, and this is a Spring Boot application. This is just a REST application that have some endpoint, and I will put some load on it using JMeter. Okay, so this is just calling my REST endpoint. This is it lists cities. It records events and cities. You can search cities, yes, stuff like this. Okay, then I will use again Arthas to connect to it. Okay. So my Spring Boot, it's process 5. Oh, it doesn't work. Why? It's just because when you connect Arthas to your application, it's just it don't just connect to your application. It launches a server inside your application, an Arthas server. Then Arthas, the CLI, will connect to this server to gather all the information, to gather the statistic, to watch the application. And when you close the Arthas CLI, you don't close the Arthas server, so you can connect later to your application and have statistics about what's going on inside your application during you leave it. So I need to close my application, then I will be able to connect to a different application. I can also use a shutdown command to shut down Arthas server. Okay, successful. Dashboard. Okay. So again, using the dashboard, I can see that I have a lot of HTTP threads. A lot of them are blocked. They use a lot of CPU, so there should be something inside my HTTP thread. When I want to debug thread, I can use thread command. So again, the thread command with the -n option that will show me the top 3 consuming thread. So, okay. And I can, on each thread, I have the stack of the thread. And I see the CPU usage. If it is blocked on database. And not here, not this time. No, I will call it again. Sometimes it shows you have a red arrow that gives you the stack frame that blocked your application. I don't have it yet because my application is not yet blocked. Okay. Okay, so I can have I can see all the stack, all my 3 threads, and what they are doing. They basically iterate about a result set from my database, and I can see that this is inside. Yes, this is inside my city service. So something inside my city service is eating up all my JDBC resources. So I will again have a look at my class. So I can use JAD to decompile it. I will use a specific option that allows to only display the source. If you don't put it, there is some Arthas logs. When I use source only, it's just decompile my application. So this is, yes. My city service. So I want to decompile it, and I will decompile it on my local disk. Service imp.java. Okay. So decompile it. I can. And I can have a look at the code. Okay, it's not very efficient. You can say, okay, maybe this is something to be improved, because okay, I can see that when I just want the top end cities, I list everything and I just take the first. But okay, for the moment, for this talk, it's too long to fix it. I will just put a debug log. Okay. Now I have put a debug log in my code. What I want is to recompile this and load this new version of my class inside my application. Arthas comes with a memory compiler, MC, and you can use it to compile your code. Oh. Unfortunately, when you compile something, you need to give it a class path. For this, in Arthas, what you can do is to give it the class loader of your application. So instead of using a class path with jars in your file system, it will just use the classes loaded inside your application. So inside the class loader of your application. So I will use a class loader command to list all the class loaders. This just gives the number of class loader. It didn't list the instance of the class loader. What I need is it's one instance of a class loader. So I will use the L option. This will list the class loader, and I will use the ID of class loader to compile my application. I will use the launched URL class loader because this is the main class loader of Spring Boot to be able to compile my application. So, okay, I will ask yes, and I will ask to compile it in the Arthas directory. Yes, so now I have compilation error. Strange. Okay. Let's do as if it succeeded, because it should have. If everything was fine, I was able to compile it. Now I will use the redefine command to load a new version of my class. Okay, so you can see that there is no debug log inside my application, and I will use the redefine command. Hopefully, I compiled previously a version of the city service, so I can show you this. Yes, this is city service dot class. Just the. Okay. Sorry, this is demo effect. Apparently, I have rebooted my laptop since last time I compiled it. So don't put demo artifact in /tmp. No. I have it somewhere else. Yeah. But anyhow, don't put. Yeah, this is here. City service.class. Okay. I can see that I have a debug log. Okay. So I show you how you can see your code, update it in production, auto-reloaded. So this is pretty powerful. But sometimes you don't know exactly which code is running. So you have some tools to search on the code. This is SC. So you can search on your code. For example, I can ask all the classes that start with this one package. And I can also search for a method. So inside my my application, I want, for example, all the method of my city service. Okay. So there is a lot of method because it's a Spring Boot application, so there is a generated method. Okay. I'll tell you there is multiple way to monitor your application. You can monitor it with the monitor command. So monitor. So it's always the same. So I want to monitor my city service implementation. Yeah. I want to monitor the list cities, and I want it to monitor 5 times.
So that class is inside the implementation package.
Yeah. Yes, the package is wrong.
No, it's okay.
Thank you. So this will monitor my application 5 times, every 5 seconds. Okay. Yes, I just need to lower to see something because I don't see the output, the result. Again, demo effect. Big long. Oh, maybe. Yeah, no, it's running. Normally I should have another, yeah, because I launched Arthas with too big resolution. So there is one column missing. This is the output column that said the execution time and the number of exceptions. I will need to restart Arthas now that I lower my screen. So again, yes, the one, yes, and I can just monitor it again. Yes, you see. So it monitors my application and outputs the statistic each 5 seconds, and I know that in 5 seconds I call it 134 times with all success, and the average it's about 100 milliseconds. Okay, monitor is interesting because it don't just output all the calls to your application like watch, but it's limited as it just gives you the total number of the success, the failures, and stuff like this. There is some tools that called time tunnel. It's a little like the watch command, but instead of recording everything and outputting it inside your console, it just records all the invocation of your method, and you can go back later to those invocations. So if I just use the same, a different method. Okay. So I can ask the time tunnel to record it, and I will ask him to make 10 records of my of the city rest class on the search cities method. So this is the 10th records. Then I can ask the detail of one invocation, for example, the invocation 1003. Okay, what I can see is that this has been created at this time. It took 20 milliseconds. There is 2 parameters, and it returns a list of city. So I have all the information of my invocation, like if I use a watch command. What is very powerful is with this tool is that I can excuse me, relaunch an invocation. So if I use the same command but with the P option, the P option will replay it. Okay, so it really use the same parameters and call my method with the same parameters. So it's a very powerful tool. Okay. So there is a lot of different methods on Arthas. You can there is an embedded help, and you can do a lot of different stuff. The last command that will show you is the command trace. Trace it traces the calls to your method with the stack trace. You can use it like this. So I want 5 trace of the invocation of my method. So I will okay. So it will show me the last 5 invocation, and it will show me the most time-consuming stack traces, and it will directly put in red the longest. So it's pretty interesting. I can. What's very interesting also is that you can add some condition, so the trace will be done only on certain circumstances of calls. For example, I can ask only when the first, in fact, the second parameters of my application is more than a certain value. So I have just the thread, just the trace of method calls that are that have certain parameters value. And what I most like is that there is some kind of cost analysis. So you can ask the method where the cost of the method is more than 100, for example, and it will show you the trace that was taken more than 100 milliseconds. Okay. There is a lot of other options that you can use with the trace command. Yeah, you can just check on the help. So when I talk about diagnostic tool, I have this wish list, and I think that Arthas almost covers everything on this list. So it's a very a powerful tool. Do you have questions? Yes. Impact of performances. It generates bytecode on your application, so there is an impact. You need to measure it. Yes. I don't have numbers. Yes. Yeah.
We have seen you type interactively your comments.
Yes.
But can you scripting those commands for external uses?
This is a CLI, it's not possible. But this is an evolving project. You can check on the website. There is some capabilities. Times it's up. You can ask me directly questions. Thank you.